Hi, don't worry. Hello, welcome to Mr. Wickins Reads The Outlaw Varjak Paw by SF Seed, illustrated by the marvellous Dave McKeen. We are on chapter 24. And I had a message sent through to me by some Year 4 pupils that I used to teach about 9 years ago. And I got a message through saying there are a few of them who are at college together now, 9 years later, and they were talking about some of my lessons back in the day, and they remember Varjak Paw and the voices I used to do way back then. So I just want to say a massive shout out to them. So Angus, Kate, Belle, Sophia, Maya, and there's probably a few others as well that I can't remember, but it was really good to hear from them, and really encouraging to know that they remembered from all that time ago. So absolutely brilliant, love it. Okay, here we go, chapter 24. Varjak and his allies. No, start again. Varjak and his allies padded up the riverbank, dripping wet. They climbed onto the pavement. The sky was darkening. It looked empty and hollow. There was no sun up there, no moon, no stars. Before them now was a huge main road. On the other side of the road loomed the railway bridge. Around it there were black iron street lamps with monstrous carvings of fish coiled around them. Nice, said Tam, shivering. She sneezed. This is miserable. We're filthy and soaking wet, and I'm scared. I want to go back. I wish Clutch was here. Don't worry, fearless Tam, said Homer. Stop calling me that. I never was fearless. I don't even like crossing roads this big. Cars, buses and trucks roared past in continuous flow. Their headlights were blinding, their exhaust fumes choking. There were no gaps in the traffic. The road was too dangerous to cross. But there was an underpass running beneath it to the other side. Varjak headed down there. The others followed. There's a picture of some of the fish coiling around the street lamps. The underpass was full of rusty metal bins. It was lit only by a red strip light on the ceiling. There were puddles on the ground giving off sharp, acrid odours. The red light buzzed with electric tension as they entered, and Varjak's heart skipped a beat, for at the other end of the underpass there was a patrol from Sally Bones's gang. Oh no, he thought, not already. Varjak and his friends took cover behind a bank of bins. From there he watched the Bones patrol. There were 5 of them, big, battle-scarred cats, gathered around something at the far end, taking turns to kick it. It looked like a bloody heap of bones and fur, something barely alive. But then its scent reached him, the ghostly scent of a cat with no ears or tail. It raised its head and hissed at the Bones patrol, the desperate hiss of a cat with nowhere left to go. Don't you hiss at us, they spat as they hit it again. You're nothing anymore, you're not even a cat. I was your captain, you can't do this, croaked the cat. Varjak's fur prickled, for he knew that voice. It was Razor. The tiger-striped tomcat had been beaten beyond endurance. His ears and tail had been ripped off, but it was Razor, and he was in terrible trouble. We can't do anything we like. We can do anything we like to you, Razor, said the patrol leader. You're not in our gang anymore. I'd rather be in Varjak Paw's gang, groaned Razor as their claws cut him. At least he never slashed me, not like her. We'll get that outlaw in the end, said the leader, and he'll just look just as pretty as you when the boss gets through with him. They all laughed. In his hiding place, Varjak's scalp prickled. He was feeling something he never thought he'd feel. He felt sorry for Razor. The big cat had been so cocky, so sure of himself. Now all his pride and power was stripped from him. Cowering in the rubbish, without his ears and tail, Razor looked pitifully naked. He was still hissing, trying to fend them off with the last of his strength, but he didn't stand a chance unless someone stepped in to help. That cat needs backup, whispered Varjak. No, shivered Tam. Don't do it. Why not? There's 5 of them, but there's more of us. Maybe, but this is only the beginning. Tam bit a pause and frowned. We're never going to make it to Sally Bones's place at this rate. There aren't enough of us. Varjak shook his head. Razor needs help. As the patrol closed in to finish Razor off, Varjak readied himself for action. Don't even think about it, Paw, hissed Eliza Scratch. That scum's not worth it. Razor's not so bad, said Ozzy, speaking up. He's a show-off, but I always kind of liked him. Omar nodded. Stay back, Varjak, he commanded. We'll handle this. Come on, little brother. Yeehaw! Ozzy grinned. The horrible twins shoved Varjak out of the way and sprang towards the patrol. Stay back, Varjak. What did Omar mean, stay back? There were 5 in the patrol. Did Omar think they could beat 5 cats all on their own? Or did he suspect that Varjak had lost his power? Normally Varjak wouldn't have thought twice. He'd feel confident that he could drop into slow time if he could make a moving circle. He could feel the energy rising inside him, but without it. He watched Omar and Ozzy go first. He heard their ferocious growls as the brothers barreled into the fight. Omar lashed out at the leader and drew blood. Beside him, Ozzy's mighty swing erupted all over the patrol. But the Bones cats were tough. They weren't scared of the twins. They hit right back. One of them cracked Omar across the face. Varjak couldn't watch. He couldn't stand by and see his friends outnumbered take a beating. Maybe he didn't have the power anymore, but he was going to help. He strode into the dark red dimness. Takes 5 of you to beat Razor, does it? He growled. Let's see what you can do in a fair fight. The Bones cats drew back. It's him, they hissed. The Outlaw, Varjak Paw! Razor's scar-torn face lit up. Varjak? He whispered. Stay back, panted Omar. I told you, we'll handle this. But Varjak's pride was stung. He breathed deep, reached for the power. In, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4. And it all started again in his mind like a nightmare coming back, a nightmare from which there was no escape. Sally Bones's ice blue eye burning into his brain, the darkness, the despair. Can't breathe. Look out, cried Omar. The patrol leader swung at Varjak. Omar tried to get in the way, but the leader got there first. Crack! His big, hard paw smashed into Varjak's face. Varjak's legs went weak. His head was on fire. He had no power. He couldn't fight back. The leader was so much bigger, so much stronger. Without the power, he felt naked and empty as the sky. Crack, crack, crack! Ultraviolet pain exploded in his head. The side of his face felt wet. Varjak looked up, dazed in the dim red light. He saw the Scratch sisters coming out to fight. Behind them, Tam was biting her paws, frowning, and then suddenly, Tam turned. She turned tail. She sprinted back down the underpass, back the way they'd come. Tam, he called. She didn't even look round. She was running so fast. The last thing he saw was her bushy tail, disappearing. She was gone. Tam had run away. Crack! The patrol leader hit him once more. He slammed Varjak's body, flinging him at the bins. Varjak crashed into them head on. The metal groaned with the impact. And that's the end. Oh, no. And everything stopped. Oh no. And that's the picture after that. Everything stopped. Is Varjak alright? What's happened to him? Okay, that's the end of chapter 4. Chapter 25 tomorrow night. Take care and I'll see you then.